Okay, let's get into the story today. It definitely raised some eyebrows. We're doing a deep dive into something that happened out in Woodland Hills, Los Angeles.
Hmm.
Involved an Amazon delivery driver caught on camera doing something, well, pretty unexpected. And this was on Mother's Day, Sunday, May 11th, 2025.
Yeah, unexpected is maybe putting it mildly. We're looking at a New York Post article here, and they're citing a KTLA TV news report.
Right.
And the key thing, like you said, is it all surfaced because of home surveillance footage?
Mm.
Ring cameras, that kind of thing. Seems like they catch everything these days.
They really do. And that New York Post headline, it really grabbed you, didn't it? It called them stomach-turning deliveries, which is certainly not the kind of delivery anyone wants.
No, definitely not.
So, okay, we've got Los Angeles, Mother's Day, an Amazon driver, and these really, really bizarre incidents. Let's get into the specifics. What did those cameras actually capture?
Okay, right. So let's start with the first homeowner. Their footage reportedly showed the driver walking away from their front steps.
Mhm.
And the Post describes her as seemingly pulling her pants up. And then, the homeowner finds that she'd left a bowel movement right there on their outdoor stairs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And this was early, shortly after 6 in the morning.
6 a.m. Imagine starting your Mother's Day finding that. Just, uh, okay.
Ah,
But it wasn't just the one incident, was it? There was more.
exactly.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't isolated. So a neighbor, apparently, after hearing about what happened next door, they thought, well, maybe I should check my security footage.
Makes sense.
And their camera allegedly caught the same driver, this time urinating inside a wooden gate on their property.
Inside the gate. And didn't the report say something else? Like she looked at the camera.
Yeah, that's what it says. Appeared to look like directly at the camera while doing it, which just adds another layer of strangeness to it all.
Yeah.
You really do wonder what's going on there.
It really makes you think. I mean, the circumstances.
It does. It raises so many questions.
Yeah.
But, beyond just the shock of the act itself, what's also notable is Amazon's response.
Ah, right. How did they handle it?
Well, according to the New York Post, which quoted KTLA TV News, Amazon gave a pretty firm statement.
Okay, what did they say?
They said, we're deeply disturbed by the unacceptable behavior of this delivery driver and apologize to the customers involved. We immediately identified the driver, and they are no longer delivering on behalf of Amazon.
Wow, okay. So immediate identification, and she's no longer driving for them. That's quite swift.
Very swift, very clear. Shows they took it, extremely seriously, which I guess you'd have to, right? Customer trust and all that.
Absolutely. And this story, I mean, it clearly struck a chord online, didn't it? That New York Post article got a ton of shares.
Oh, it really did. The article itself mentioned it was shared, get this, 93,416 times just on their website.
93,000. That's huge.
They're pretty staggering, yeah. That level of engagement, it tells you something about how much it captured people's attention. You have to wonder why this story,
Yeah, what made this one go so viral? Was it just the sheer weirdness, the violation of it all?
Maybe. It's definitely one of those stories that makes you do a double take.
Yeah.
And just for context, the Post listed its other big trending stories around that time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, names like Diddy, Biden, Cassie Ventura, Trump, major news figures.
Right, the usual big headlines.
Exactly. So for this story about a delivery driver to get almost 100,000 shares alongside all of that, it really says something about its impact. It just cut through the noise somehow.
It really did. Maybe it's that contrast, the everyday thing, getting an Amazon package versus something so bizarre and, well, unpleasant, a total disruption of what you expect.
I think that's probably part of it, that clash of the mundane and the outrageous.
Now, one important detail here, the driver herself wasn't identified in the article, was she?
No, that's correct. The New York Post piece didn't name her. So while we know Amazon's reaction, the individual, her side of things, her situation, that remains completely unknown to the public.
That is a crucial point. We're really only seeing this through the lens of the surveillance footage and the company's statement. We have no idea why this happened from her perspective.
Exactly. We lack that context entirely.
Okay, so let's sort of wrap up the facts here. We have an Amazon driver, Los Angeles, caught on home surveillance video in these highly inappropriate acts on 2 different properties on Mother's Day.
Right.
Amazon reacts very quickly, terminates her delivery role, and the story itself just explodes online. Huge number of shares, lots of public attention.
That sums it up pretty well. And, this whole thing, it kind of pushes us to think a bit broader, doesn't it?
How so?
Well, we live in this time where More and more homes have cameras pointed outwards,
Yeah.
and we rely so heavily on these delivery services for, like, everything.
Yeah, constant delivery is constant recording.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what are the implications when something like this happens? What does it say about maybe the pressures these drivers are under,
Mhm.
or just the sheer unpredictability of what gets captured now?
That's a really interesting angle. That increased visibility,
Yeah.
service workers are right there on our doorsteps on camera, and maybe we don't always think about the pressures of that job.
Mm-hmm.
And it also makes you think about privacy, public behavior,
Yeah.
how all that's changing because we know or suspect we might be being recorded almost anywhere outside.
Right. It forces you to consider all the different sides. You've got the homeowners, who are understandably upset, feeling violated probably.
Of course.
You've got the driver, whose story we just don't know, and then the company, Amazon, managing the fallout, the PR side of it.
Yeah. It's a complicated picture when you look beyond the initial shock value. Hopefully, this deep dive has helped kind of unpack it a bit for you, our listener.
Yeah, moving beyond just the headline to maybe think about some of those bigger questions it raises about, life today.